we're going to be focusing on college going. We're going to start off, and Jennifer Winburn is going to start us off with the College Going Initiative and go through that process. And Kimberly Walters is online also, and she's going to be going through some of the transcript and introducing some guests we have today for our presentations. So Jennifer, I just want to remind folks real quickly to join on app.gosoapbox.com. And the KDE data all run together is the access code. So if you have questions or just want to see what other people are asking, please make sure you do take time to log into that platform too. So Jennifer, ready to turn it over to you.
All right, good afternoon. Hope everybody had a good lunch break, and we're going to get settled in for some college going initiatives and talk about promoting college going and some other information this afternoon with e-transcripts and parchments. So we're going to hop right on in and get started. All right, so the Council of Post-Secondary Education, CPE, Kentucky Public Universities, and the Department of Education, we are coming together to encourage districts to help promote college going by reaching out to students and families directly using Infinite Campus. With this partnership, we hope to reduce the barriers of continuing education. Of course, I mean, why is it important? It's what's best for our kids. How can we help them reduce the barriers, reaching out, exploring options and opportunities in different avenues and areas? So a little more information. Districts are the trusted source when it comes to communications. As a parent, if I got something from the school, I opened it up. I was more inclined to dig in and read that email. So what we're asking help with is to actually use Campus Messenger and communicate some simple notifications using some state ad hocs that have been published to help you. CPE has a new webpage that will also help students navigate their college experience, again, exploring those opportunities to different schools, and of course, looking for grants to help fund their application. So your help is needed. Raising awareness is what we are asking help with. There's a minimal GPA requirement, and this requirement is going to help students apply and see what their next steps are. Campus Messenger is a product that all districts have for the inbox or the process, what used to be alerts. Campus Messenger, you can send a message to the inbox or through email. Also, districts that have the premium product of Campus Messenger could help us out by sending out a text message. So we've designed some communications for you, and the communications are targeted to selected seniors and those juniors who have designated to graduate early from high school. And this is based on their cumulative GPA at the end of last school year. Messages can be sent to two groups. So a GPA of 2.5 or higher, which is minimal requires for all Kentucky University. And then the other one is a GPA below 2.5, which qualifies for Kentucky Community and Technical College System enrollments. They may qualify for other public university as well, but by getting the messages out, it allows the families and the students to explore more. So again, we've talked about Campus Messenger, but just a reminder, Campus Messenger is the portal inbox and email feature is available for all campus users. If you do have the premium product of Campus Messenger, then you can use that as well to send text message and perhaps a phone call saying, hey, check your email tonight. You have an important email about us promoting college going and what all you can do through the CPE website. So getting ready, we have created messages, and we hope we have simplified it to help you easily. So we have a step-by-step instructional document. Once you have the slides. You can click on that link and it'll take you directly to step-by-step processes. And then also it'll help you identify those state reporting ad hocs that I mentioned earlier. So start planning. We have had some districts already do this for us. So we've had, we've tested it, and we know that CP has received an influx of hits to their website. So this works. We just need your help. Decide locally how the message is going to be sent out. Is it going to be sent out as a district, individual high schools? You know, counselors, work with your central office, sysadmin staff if you need help with the messenger product. I think it's easy, but again, it's something I use daily. So if you have questions, reach out, or if you need us, please reach out to us as well, and we'll be glad to help you with that as well. So establish your date, and then of course follow the instructions. Again, it's 2 separate notifications, and so we have the notifications outlined for you, which notification goes with which GPA grade point average. So the pathway to Campus Messenger is Communication, Messenger, Message Builder. This will be a general notification, and then you select your delivery options, and then your the enrollment filter is like, how do you want this delivered to all students that are in that grade level? If you by chance have a family that has a senior and a early grad junior, do you want the email to go out to both of them? Yes, you want them to go to both of them. So then once you've done that, then you'll select the state reported ad hocs that we have published. Again, the ad hocs can be selected more than one ad hoc can be selected at a time. Excuse me, got tongue-tied there. So the ad hoc filters that we have available for you are listed on the screen: CPE, GPA 2.49 or above for those early grads, and again 2.49 for those in grades 12 and grade 14, and again the repeat for the other message. Remember, you can select more than one ad hoc as you're sending out the communication by using your shift or your control key. All right, setting up the message. You'll choose your delivery device. Again, email is a great communication tool, and the email addresses, of course, have to be in Infinite Campus, and they also must be marked portal on the parent census contact screen. If you need more information about that, please reach out about setting up preferences and so forth for the portal. We ask that you use the message subject or the title, "It's time to act," in the subject line. It'll just be more uniformed. Then you'll create your message body and set up your delivery date, whether you want it to go to the inbox, a parent portal, or student portal, or directly to the email address. The message, we've created the message for you. It's in the documentation. So all you have to do is copy and paste it into your message. I do want to remind you that when you copy and paste the message body, that you double check that the links come through. Sometimes the links do not always stick. Maybe 1 out of 100 times the link doesn't copy correctly, but just double check it. In our documentation, again, you'll have the ability to insert the link if it doesn't copy through correctly. But the message is very simple and eye-catching. Congratulations, through hard work, you have met the statewide minimum GPA requirements for admission to Kentucky two-year college and may be eligible for admissions to Kentucky public universities. And that message is for those that have under the 2.5 GPA. And then above 2.5, the message is just a little different, but you'll see that we've left it's time to get started in the link to the CPE website. And we also want to remind the students that it's time to complete that FAFSA application to help maximize the funding in financial aid. A lot of money is left on the table. We have been told over time, so that's why with that little FAFSA reminder and plugging in, going to the CPE site, hey, you kind of kill two birds with one stone there by putting that reminder on there. All right, share the message. Schedule and send the message. Each district and school can choose what date works best for you. Refer back to that step one. Again, if we can help you in any ways, if it comes to the messenger, you're having issues clicking through, creating the message, linking, you can reach us at the KDE data request at education.ky.gov. More than glad to help you get this going. And we do have some good news. So we mentioned FAFSA earlier. We are working on a custom report to help our counselors be able to see who has completed their FAFSA. We're working with Kia, and then, well, we're not really working with Kia. We'll need you to go and log into your Kia account to pull down your FAFSA complete form. But we're going to have some direction and guidance on how to upload that into Infinite Campus into an assessment template. And we're working on a custom report so that you'll be able to then use similar steps with your messenger to communicate with your seniors about their FAFSA if they've completed or not completed it.
And if you know your school is not already getting that file from Kia, it's really a good time to log into their My Kia app, I think it is, and request that, or work with whoever the applicable person in your district is that should do that, so that you can have that information. I know there's legislation that's been proposed about the FAFSA and making it a graduation requirement of some type. We don't know if that'll go anywhere. This work was really just already in the process before that legislation we even saw that legislation.
So at this time, do we have any questions, or do I need to review anything? I went through that really quick, and I apologize. Sometimes I get going and I speed up and I go really fast. So please feel free to add a question into the Go Soapbox. If I miscommunicated something, please let me know. I do want to remind you that if you are in campus and you're not seeing Messenger in your campus tools, then you'll need to work with your system administrator in your district to gain access. You can go to them and explain that you would like to help us promote college going and or work with them to get the message sent out.
So I think that answers the question that was raised. It says, I'm not finding communication in the index. I want to make sure our staff have access to the appropriate area. So the system admins just need to give them access to that communication messenger tools?
Yes, that's correct. Mm-hmm.
I would, in addition to question, I would be interested in, and there's no, I can't even see who's sending the messages based on my look at this here. I'd be interested in some feedback from the districts that are watching this on maybe why they haven't done this. We know there's been there's not been many districts that have already done this. From what we've heard from CPE, they see that a number of hits to their website go up, and they can tell which districts have done it. We can always also tell what Jennifer's got a SQL query that she runs every now and then to see which districts have done it. And there's just not very many. And I know everybody is super busy. And I completely understand that. But when we originally, worked this through, when we were working with CPE, talking about barriers to college and talking about $40 million that gets left on the table every single year, we looked for tools that we had that districts were already using that would be easy to take advantage of and promote and maybe help students get reminders, their families get reminders of the fact that it's time to act. When we introduced this back in November, it was because it was college application month, and we kind of geared it towards that. It's not something that somebody only has to put do one time. They can do it multiple times, and there was really no magic to November. If you've not done anything, January, February are perfectly good. I mean, anytime you can help promote awareness that students have met the GPA requirements towards going to college, and encourage them to explore funding opportunities. With ESSER, there is a lot more funding out there the schools have to take advantage of than typically. So, these students could potentially get funding, to completely the full cost of the tuition. So we need to just kind of hear back from you all. Are there things that we're not thinking about that maybe put up barriers on your side? Or if you've tried this and you didn't hear back much from the parents and students, I don't guess that's completely surprising, because all the messaging goes towards communicating out with the CPE. Typically they tell you if something was bad, but you might not hear anything otherwise. But is there anything that you feel like we should know? If you don't want to send it to us in the Go Soapbox, send Jen or myself an email. We'd love to hear some suggestions. If it's a little bit more burdensome than we're thinking it is, tell us that. But it's really up to the district. We're not saying who needs to do this. If it's the world according to Dee Dee, I would think, the district could do it one time for all their high schools, and that would take advantage of it, and it would be done, and you could just, schedule it to go out then, and maybe schedule it again to go out, a month or so later. But, in some districts, it might make a whole lot more sense just to do it at the high school level. Just each high school takes care of their own kids because they're used to getting information. It's really about the communication coming out from a trusted source. We all get lots of emails. We get lots of messages that we don't know if they're any good. AT&T messages me all the time, but I don't really know if it's really AT&T, because half the time they're telling me I paid my bill and I haven't really, and I won something. So, those are the type of things that have made people skeptical about communications they get. But if they're getting messages from their school and their district, it's typically ones they're used to looking at. They're used to saying, oh, what do we need to make sure we're doing? Or, that kind of stuff. So we're trying to work this with that mindset, is the fact that they are used to getting messages or music. Kia is still sending their messages. And Kia has always sent a lot of information, and you'll see commercials and things like that. So this is not anything to replace something else that's being done. This was really an extra step to be able to try to contact and engage families with a little bit more awareness of what, that they are, eligible based on their GPAs. So let me see if we've got anything here.
And just a double check and a reminder, sending it straight to the students as well, because the parents get the communication, the student gets the communication, because we do have those students that will take control and go on and do their exploring. So just getting the information in their hands is vital.
And so your feedback to us is just wonderful, because we love to hear back from you. But one of the messages we got is our parents check IC for grades, but found they do not go to message center. And that, campus has a lot, you can do the message center. You can also send it out by email. Those of you that have paid for the premium product, and there's not, it's not even half the districts, I don't think, last time we looked at, that have the premium messenger, they can send text messages out. So, try some different things. Just don't go to the, only to the portal message center. Choose as many options as you can to reach your families and students. And even if it goes out to the parents and the households as well as the students, maybe one or the other of them will actually look at it. And then somebody else said he didn't actually know that these messages were available. It's relatively new. We introduced it in November. It's crazy. It's not so completely surprising. That's why we wanted to continue to, provide information about it going forward. The messages that we created, they're a template. Act Now is that's the subject we chose because we felt like it would make them want to take action, want to read it, that they needed to do something. You may feel like you want to tweak the message, especially if you're sending it out to families. The fact that you've gotten your GPA isn't necessarily as applicable to the families as a student. Don't feel like you have to do it exactly. Find out what you think will work for your students and tweak the messaging with the same, keeping the same level of intent to make sure they understand that based on their GPA, they are eligible for post-secondary, and that in order to take advantage of that, they've got to take some action. Let's see if I've got anything else here. I don't think so. Sometimes these messages pop up if you all, and they go to the top. I will say that on the FAFSA, the FAFSA thing we're just working on, we've created a template. I don't think we've pushed it out to the districts yet. We will push that out to the districts. At the state level, we can't have access to the FAFSA data. Kia provides that to districts. The U.S. Department of Education allows them to provide the information to districts on who has completed their FAFSA, but they can't share it with us. That is the reason why, if they could share it with us on behalf of you, we would take the file and we would push it out to you, and you wouldn't have to do anything. But that was our first approach. We would like to have been able to do that, but Kia said no to that. So that's the reason we're creating a template, and it'll be similar to how you handle a civics test, where it's students that take the civics test, you kind of upload a file, but you'll get the file from Kia, and you'll be able to select that information and upload, and we'll have instructions on how to do that. The next step, and once you load that, you'll be able to run a report that will easily show you who has and has not completed their FAFSA, so you can follow up specifically with those students that have not. You don't have the ones that have already done what they're supposed to, they don't need to get those messages any longer. So the next step on that will be, once you have that, to be able to have an ad hoc in the system that allows you to select and send similar messages that we're doing here to those students that haven't done the FAFSA yet, to encourage those. We'd like to, again, we don't have access to this data. This is your data, but we'd like to actually add that to the school report card. So for high school students in the adult transition to adult life, you've got a percentage that shows how many of your students have completed the FAFSA. It'll be voluntary. I can't make, it's not something you would have to, but I think some of you would be very proud, because your counselors are working really hard with those students and those families to get those counselors. I will tell you that my sister, I always use her example. She probably would hate it if she knew this. And if there's anybody from Pikeville Independent on the phone, they probably would get a chuckle. But I think the whole time her son's been in college, she's gone back to the high school counselor for help to do her FAFSA. She's just not technically literate. And I know there's so many counselors out there that are just really working with families because they know that, they know that they can help and they want to help. And this is just one more way to do that and kind of help you refine who you're reaching out to, so that you're reaching out to those that do need help and not necessarily just sending broad messages to everybody. All right, so we've got about 8 more minutes, and I'm running out of things to say. I've tried.
We appreciate those counselors that are on the call today. We know, and I mean, the struggle that you go through on a daily basis, but we're hoping to give you all some tools to make your job a little easier. I know, coming out of the district, we did a call for our FAFSA night, or all that. So we're hoping we're helping and not hindering. But you all counselors do a great job. System admins who sit and help with these messages, we applaud you. I've been in your shoes and know how passionate sysadmins are in this role of communicating and helping their students. So we're really trying to help you. And again, if we're off the track of how to get the messages to families and promote different things, we're open to suggestions. We're here to help. And so thank you again, though. I know we don't thank our district staff and support people enough, but we do appreciate all that you do.
Absolutely, we do. And things to think about is, if you've got suggestions for us, even beyond this, I know the Council for Post-Secondary Education, some of you know Amanda Ellis that used to work with Kentucky Department of Education. She's kind of the liaison with us now, working with CPE. She's going to be creating working with some different parties, KDE being one, that's going to look at, trying to define what are the hurdles to college going. Where are the sticking points? She's already started a lot of that work. She's been working with the post-secondary schools, trying to find out what they're struggled with. Some of them are going to come out in the next sessions on transcripts. They really need to get transcripts. And we all, I'm just can understand, having 2 kids of my own, how you have to try to get all of these children trying to figure out taking their next step and doing what they need to do. And that's a lot of work. And that's and the counselors and the schools are so helpful with that. But you can't force, I understand that. But at the same time, being able to make sure that we're taking as many of the barriers down. And those barriers might be your barrier. It might be things that are causing trouble for you, or there might be things that are causing trouble for your students. So help us know what those things are. If there's things like that you've always thought, well, if this wasn't this, if we didn't have this, we could really do a lot more. You can do it in Soapbox today, or you can reach out to me anytime, because we'd really like to take that to the table with CPE and Kia on things that we could improve upon, to be able to, let students explore and enroll in the post-secondary schools. We know that, we've seen the data, we've all seen it. Over their lifespan, they're going to make so much more money even if they get a 2-year degree. Just that next step, taking it after high school. I understand it's not for everybody, and there are going to be exceptions to every rule. But when you look at the numbers, you're doing your students the best service you can by continuing to encourage them to explore post-secondary school. So I do have another question. It says, what about the FERPA compliance around FAFSA completion date? The FERPA compliance around FAFSA, the FERPA Department of Education does share that file with KIA. So I'm not sure I understand the question. They share the file with KIA showing, because KIA is a scholarship agency and FAFSA is a requirement for entering into college. So there is a FERPA specific exception that allows them to share that data. They're sharing it back with the high schools where the students are attending to help improve FAFSA completion rates. But they cannot share it with KDE. They can only share it with the schools that students are attending. If that doesn't answer the question, add another question to there, because maybe I'm missing the point. But there, we always have to be considerate of FAFSA. But as far as being able to complete a FAFSA, it's just not the student, it's the families that have to complete the FAFSA. So you really do, by messaging out something to the families about that, it's their own data. You're not messaging out, or you're not, I definitely don't put a list on the front door that shows which ones have completed their FAFSA and which one haven't. That's a FAFSA issue. But, keeping the communication with the schools or a scholarship agency and the students and parents for that family, there's not any FAFSA, or not any, there's not any FERPA violation that I'm aware of that. I think that's all good. Anything else? We've just got a few more minutes, and I know Kim is going to join us, and she is going to introduce our next couple of speakers. So it may be, Kim, is there anything you'd like to add to this conversation? I know you've worked a lot with it. Just kill a couple minutes, and then you can turn into your introductions.
Well, I guess just to go on this theme, I think the next step is, after we give this information to students and parents, the next step is, how do you get your transcript? How do you apply to colleges? And I think that is what, if everybody's still here and thinking, oh, I can go now. No. We're going to talk about transcripts next. And we're going to talk about two different perspectives, one from a district and one from a college. So I feel like this is going to be really interesting information. I hope you hang on here to watch that part.
We do have, we were fortunate that from a state perspective, we have a statewide transcript, and we worked very closely with the colleges. It was very much of a grassroots effort. I mean, I called universities and asked them to connect me with the registrar's office or check, and I got people, but we had the universities buy into this. And we had a group of, high schools and district folks that bought into this, and they helped us identify what all was in the transcripts previously. We had this big spreadsheet that showed what was all in your all's transcript, and then we went to the colleges and we said, now these are what's important, and they defined what was important. I do know that there's still high schools out there that feel like they want to give the paper transcript. That's the way they've always done it. They can go into campus and press a button. They make the student come into the office and get that transcript, but that's not really what the colleges are asking for. So I think stay tuned, because you really want to hear from these other perspectives of what's being done. And it may be that you've just not been exposed. There is so much turnover out there in this area. Just because we did a lot of training when the e-transcripts came out, Parchment offers training every single year for new counselors, but that message isn't getting to you unless Parchment knows you're there. So you may not be getting the information you need. And if you aren't, reach out to Kim, because she can definitely connect you. There may have been a whole district perspective, and there may have been all these different people that were connected at Parchment and had access to their application. If they're all gone now and you're the new kid on the block, you may know nothing about that. There's nothing wrong with that. Just ask. We're glad to help you, because, again, we're trying to take that next step as far as how can we help students towards pursuing their dreams and pursuing their next step after high school.